The last mission was Wiener Neustadt in Austria. It was an aircraft plant. I believe it was a fighter plant. I don't know how many planes was that day. We never know. The group comes up, we form in the air, and they go on over that target. Now, we first went across the Adriatic Sea. That's how we did it. We first approached the target. We had a lot of anti-aircraft fire below us. The night before, they had changed the right, if B-24 has 4 engines, and the right engine on the outer side was changed the night before, but they never had time to check it out. And what happened was we lost the oil pressure in that engine about 50 miles, 40, 50 miles from the target. And when you do that, you have to feather the engine. And feather the engine means you turn the prop sideways. If you didn't, it'd shake the wing off. It'd shake your whole wing off. You turn it, and the wind goes by it. That's what you call feather one. And they feathered that engine. But the bad part was we had to drop out of formation. We couldn't keep up with the rest of them. And when we dropped out, the fighters was all over like a bunch of flies out there. And they really was banging us up. My right wing gunner fell to the floor, and I turned, I just saw him fall, and I grabbed his gun. What happened was he had his foot blown off right above the ankle. One bullet had done that. And I never will forget the look on his face. I mean, how he said, "Please help me," and I couldn't help him because I had to fire that gun. Then the left waist gunner went down. He never made a sound. He just dropped to the floor. Then the tail gunner was killed in his turret back there. And here's the bad part. My flight engineer was coming across the flight deck. We only had 3 engines now. And the fighters, they knocked out another engine on the same side. We only had 2 engines on the left side. And the flight engineer was coming back trying to help this boy with his foot blown off. He said that I was standing by the window with my gun. There was an ME-110 out on the left side and fired a rocket. And the rocket came through the side of the plane. The ball turret gunner stood up just at that moment. And he said if he hadn't stood up, I was in direct line of that rocket. The rocket hit the ball turret and blew him all to pieces. It blew me out through the side of the plane. I had my shoes on. And it set the plane on fire. It was one huge ball of fire. And I got in the air and I held out my arms. I was tumbling over like a tumbleweed. And I held out my arms and stabilized myself. I pulled my ripcord. That's when you get upset, when your ripcord don't open your parachute, and it did not open mine. Shrapnel had cut it in two. I had to take my hands and literally tear my parachute open and get it out to save my life.